Is another way of opening the mind to see things where others don't see. So if you're looking at new opportunity, new businesses, new challenges, you've got to explore new ways of doing things. You cannot be doing the same thing the same way to expect new results. Okay? So you have to do something different. That is what I mean by a growth mindset. Okay, a growth mindset. To have a growth mindset, you have to see big picture. We like to see the big picture. What stops you from thinking growth mindset? One of them is what? Is the shape you are fitted here. The main is your mental model shape the way you see the world. You see the world, you cannot see anything. Other people see the world, they can see something. They see obstacle, they also see challenge. You see the world, macam problem. Everyday job. So you are seeing things in front of you as problem. Another fellow sees it as an opportunity. So that is the difference. Okay. So you can see in this context, for example, you have a lot of what do you call air. What do you do with the air? You just for you biasa air Somebody come and say this air I can electrolyze it and form hydrogen correct or not?
Right.
But you see as you already biasa this biasa punya air that is what it means. See, this is what we are talking about. You shape your own future because you see different way. The fellow who see the air, they see hydrogen. You cannot see the hydrogen. Mana ada hydrogen sini? So this is the mental modeling. They shape your attitude and behavior the way right or wrong. So your attitude and your behavior is because you see negative or you see positive. So that is the one of the mental thinking. Look at another one. In today's complicated, uncertain environment, the greatest danger are in our mind. Okay? The uncertain environment is going to be there throughout your life. My life, your life, and future life. There's no such thing in the world of certain environment. Always in front of you will be uncertain environment. Remember this. You got a message? In this world, there is no such thing as certain environment. Everything as your journey goes on, lot of unpredictable environment, uncertainty, condition of uncertainty. There will be a lot of limitation, lot of risk, lot of danger. But how you going to navigate this to look for opportunities? So this is something you have to understand because it is the way the mind sorts out, clarifies the meaning. Sorting and clarifying your meaning is your mind. Your own mind. Your own mind is your enemy. Remember, your own mind is your enemy, your dead. That's why some people cannot grow. Mr. DIY grow and made 8 billion within a period of 12 years. Fresh farm, within a period of 8 years, they made 8 billion. Fresh farm. You know fresh farm? Farm fresh, sorry. Farm fresh. How they do it? So many people like cattle. Nobody was successful. Farm fresh navigated the tough scenario. They become billionaires, $8 billion, both the brothers. See how they do it? Others all tried. All failures. Because they see different. They see different. They see a lot of uncertain environment. In that uncertain environment, they saw it positive outcomes. Okay?
Please do.
This one. People want like this. Now what is the meaning of the word quick fix? Quick fix means what? What is quick fix mentality? Shortcut. People want shortcut, man. Shortcut only for today is not sustainable. Example I gave you was Bausto plantation. Example I gave you was Bausto plantation. They want shortcut. Don't want to do replanting. this is the outcome of that. They cannot be sustainable. They cannot be sustainable because they took shortcut. They want magic bullet, do fast. So if you are talking about quick fix, magic bullet, you cannot try this luck in business. Not in business. In business, it's a long-term strategic planning. You need a plan to do business, not quick fix. To understand this concept. So in business, you have to think. You cannot go for quick fix. Okay? Quick fix doesn't work. So meaning, what it means is that when you are facing complex problem, you have to do deep analysis. That's what it means by that. Okay? You have to do deep analysis. You need to look for insights. Why this thing is happening? You have to ask this question 5 times. 5 kali you kena tanya. Barulah you boleh dapatkan dia punya punca dia. Only then you validate with data, big data. People now talking about big, because without the data, you cannot address problem. So quick fix no need data. Quick fix you no need data, but this will come back. This will come back. So remember this. So we should avoid this mentality of quick fix, a shortcut. Okay, just looking at event and looking at the pattern and offering solutions, like tip of the iceberg. Okay, so this doesn't work. This mentality doesn't work. A mental model is an explanation of someone's thought process, how something works in the real world. Just like housing. Remember your boss said just now? How does housing works? Housing works not by just building one unit. Just keep the roof, put the frame, you masuk dalam, tak boleh. House works in this flow, this value chain, correct? That's money. So it is a big process, the total system. Inilah dia ni. A mental model is an explanation of someone's thought process, how something works in real world. So in real world, not just build rumah, you build a community. Faham tak? Beza tak? Different. Now you are building community, not build satu rumah kecil punya rumah. So that is how it means. We are seeing the global environment, the global picture, the big picture, not just build rumah, not build just road. Okay? So this is where we are talking about. Look at this. The way she thinks is often rigid and fixed. It often goes unquestioned and easily be got obstacle. What is the message here? When I put this block like this, what is the message here? What is the message here?
Fixed mind.
Apa message here?
Fixed mind.
Apa ke message ini?
Benda tak boleh ubah.
Walaupun saya ada SOP, it doesn't mean I cannot question the SOP. That's the message here. Okay. So even though you have a written defined policy, I can also question it. It is not God-made, man-made, right? So we can challenge. That is what he called critical thinking. Remember, from the very beginning he said, I want to see strategic thinking, I want to see critical thinking. Because only through critical thinking you create innovation. If you just follow the boss, you get nothing. That is what he said. You need to do critical thinking. So critical thinking, you are challenging. Then you challenge, you are questioning. When you are questioning, you are getting new information. Then you break the law. That is innovation. So that is what you mean by that. You don't just accept what people say. Do you have this slide in your thing? Do you have this? What What page is that? Huh? So there is this morning we talked about the past
25.
and we talked about the present and we talked about the future. What is the difference between present and future? Apa beza between present and future? What is the difference?
What you can see and you can react to. The other one is
Today.
what you don't see, you don't even need, but they're not reasonable. We don't know you will know what people want.
Okay, you are very correct. So he say the present can be observed, you can realize it, you can see it, but the future cannot. You can only be curious, curious for what seems to be. But what we are saying is the future cannot be predicted, correct? But your changes and trend should lead you to think reasonably plausible course. The word is so one is what we call as one is called possible cause. Possible cause. The other one is probable cause. The other one is called plausible cause. How many of you heard this word? You all heard, right? Possible. It might happen, it might not happen. Possible. What about probable? It might rain, it might not rain. The weather says it's going to rain, it might not happen. What is plausible? There is some element of information, reliable information that it might happen. Like Singapore. Say, global warming, there is good amount of information say that the sea will rise up. Bangladesh will sink. Singapore won't sink, even though they sink, they got money to build it back. But Bangladesh will lose. Okay, that's what is plausible factor. So they compare Bangladesh and Singapore. Singapore, they say, we got brain. We can fight the global warming. So they are building bands. They are building bands. Bangladesh, they put cerita, the same thing. Yeah, we will sink. What to do? We will go with the ground. So, see how they think? You know now. Bangladesh tahu masalahnya, tapi tak boleh buat apa-apa. Tapi Singaporeans, they know the problem and offering solutions. So dia punya kepala brain lain, Bangladesh punya lain. Lain tak? Same only.
Attitude.
Same only. One fellow stretch the brain, the other fellow don't stretch the brain. Okay? See Singapore, they know the future is semiconductors. The future is foundries, artificial intelligence, AI. Now what they did, they don't have engineers for designs. They're sending 1,000 students to do design skills for chip design, sending to NVIDIA and sending to ARMS. In the world, these are the top designers of chips. See how they think? They know this is the future. Now instead of taking 1,000 people, send them. Tengok macam mana dia fikir. Now Indonesia and Sarawak. Sarawak, one of the biggest industry in the world is furnitures. One of the biggest industry in the world is furnitures. Sarawak got resources, tapi orang tak ada. So what they do? Orang tak ada, what they do? They send 300 people to Bandung, become designers. Tengok apa macam dia fikir? Sini tanya, orang tak ada. No money. Here the question is no money. This is the difference. Just now somebody asked me, why Sarawak is different? Inilah different. Dia punya otak, dia expand open mind. Like Singapore. Good example is Singapore. See? Now, go back to YTL. No, you know YTL? See how it's biggest thing, YTL. YTL, this fella, everybody, the Bandaraya municipals, you know municipal?
Majlis.
Municipals are people who collect rubbish and they get headache. All the Bandaraya fellas got headache because in Malaysia we generate 40,000 tons per day. Per day 40,000 tons. So it's a headache to the government. It's a headache to the Bandaraya. The price is a headache. But for YTL is money. They buy rubbish. What they do? Huh? What they do? Huh? What do WTE. Waste to energy. For you, it's a headache, landfill, no place, environment problem. But YTL say, I buy from you. This is how they spend $2 billion in Saranda. Saranda is about 60 kilometers from KL. Waste to energy. So actually the power of business is thinking. That is why we run this program called strategic thinking. So lepas strategic thinking, you cannot about planning dulu. Lepas. So that is how this thing works. And nothing is free. All you have to pay for it. Correct? That is the. So you can see in the process, there is a difference at what we say, there is a difference between present and future. But we must work towards future. You got to start today for the future. Don't wait for the future to come, then only start working. Cannot. Business world is you think ahead and start today. That is the difference. So that is what you see. You see here. Now what is the meaning of this? Now? What is the meaning of that? Macro history cycles of change. What is the meaning of that? The rate of change will happen. Okay? So you got to face the challenges. The change will always going to happen. And it always comes. The only thing is you got to face up with the challenge. So that is what you mean by that. Now which area is uncertainty and which area is certainty? So we are going to draw a continuum. Condition of certainty and condition of uncertainty. Which one is condition of uncertainty? Which one is the condition of uncertainty?
Future.
If I draw the arrow here, which one is the condition of uncertainty? This one or this one? Up one, correct. Can you draw the arrow? Draw one line. Draw one line. Tell me which one is the condition of certainty and condition of uncertainty. Because sometimes we find a bit tough to acquire the skills. Take some time to absorb. Okay. So we see to what extent you all have the energy to move. Okay. Now one of the things is in strategic thinking or critical thinking is you need to understand how people think and how people address problems. We call this pattern of thinking. Okay. Can you refer this to the page? I'm not sure which page is that. Tell me the page. Page 25. Remember, I was early morning. I was talking about first is when you face a problem, you must have a clear understanding. Am I right? That's called clarity of thought. Any problem you face in life, you need to make sure there's clarity of understanding. That's your first thing you must always remember. Meaning everybody understands what we are talking. That's called clarity of understanding. So if people don't understand, then you cannot know what is the real issue. So now after you have a good understanding of the problem, then you must go for rational logic reasoning. And that's called critical thinking. Rational logic reasoning. Meaning you challenge assumption against bias. So data, you question the data. That's called rational logic reasoning. Now after you had logic reasoning, then only you think strategic. The emerging issues, what might be, what could be, what else, why not. So this is a standard way of thinking. Understanding is the first step. Okay? Now to understand it, the order of thinking will be like this. This is the order of thinking. When you face a situation, when you say, for example, a situation whereby the parks are not getting a demand, there's a demand for water, but the supply is not there. Correct? Is there a deviation? Is there a deviation? Yes. Suppose there was a demand, but unable to meet the demand. So there is a deviation. So how must you think as the manager? One is quickly go and call the Jabatan Air, ask them to give the water. So that you also can do, I also do, your grandchildren also can do. No big deal, ma. It's easily done. So we don't want like that. Because this is, you're seeing the big picture. So when you say the big picture, we are seeing the situation. That's why we start with the situation. The situation is a deviation. Then you're seeing user experience. How the park users getting concerned about it. Then you move another level and see, hey, what is the external factors that is compressing on that these supply and demand factors are. So in this case, you are macro managed, not micro managed. If you are just looking at this, you are micro. But you are looking at it this, you are macro. So you start by assessing what is going on, what is happening. So you ask questions, what is happening, what's going on. So you are trying to get clarity and trying to establish priority. Now what is the meaning of the word clarity and priority? Clarity means what? Everybody understands the situation, right? That's clarity. What is priority? Urgency. He says urgencies. Importance of what to do first. So always you must remember what is the most important issue. There are many issues, but you need to understand the most important issue. So the best approach of doing it is always, you remember, there's two things very important. One is in terms of effort. The other one is impact. The word effort means time. The word effort means resources. So these are the two components. Okay? Effort, you need to spend time, and you have to employ resources in terms of people resource or material resource or whatever. So it's actually funds. So resource here means funds. So these things make it effort. Now this is, you are doing this one, you are value creating. Value creation. That means you are seeing results. The user is happy, the stakeholder is happy because there's an impact. So we spend so much of money, so much of fund, but the stakeholder is not happy. As I was sharing with about, there are 200 over GLCs, only 30 GLC making money. But all the GLC sucking in money. There is opening organization, chairman, board member, everything there. But result is what? Stakeholder money not utilized well. Such what impact. There is effort, but there is not impact. So it's same thing, the meaning of the word priority. When you do anything, you have to make sure it has an effort and it has an impact. Okay? So look at it this way. So low, high, high, high. So we have A, B, C, D. What is the order of doing the job? which one you do first? You do C first, you do A first, B first or C first? B first. Which cell you do first?
Depends on the situation.
He said depends on the situation. Let's take a situation. He says, would you like to do this first? Low impact, low effort. You don't have to do this because you are highly paid to do this job. You can ask someone to do. Correct? So don't spend 85% of your time doing this job. This is what it means. Why are you spending 85% of your time? You are highly paid and doing this job. So this is the message here. So you, for your pay, you must do things that is significant. They need your skill, and we want output from you because we pay you. We pay you so much, man. Want to do this job? This is the problem with managers. They prefer to do this and make themselves busy. Everyday meeting, because they make themselves busy. Because why? They go do activity which doesn't matter most. Someone can do, but they want to do. So this is what the message is. So setting priority means that all these four need to be done, but there are people who can do it, and they need you to do along this area where you need your effort, need your time to spend here. This is strategic work. This is operational job. So that is where we all have to balance our work. Don't spend a lot of your time doing this kind of jobs. Okay? We are not saying don't do, but don't spend a lot of your time. Because if you don't do this, then why are you having strategy? Why are you having strategic plan? Why are you having KPIs? For what? Because somebody said must have this. Doesn't make sense. So this is very, very important. This one is operational. This one is a dream. This is a dream. If you do this, you cannot achieve your dream. Sorry, no way you can achieve your dream. You come 95 years by then. So this is a message you must understand. Do work that is strategic, that drives the dream. Do work, but get someone to do this at a lower cost. You do this, you create impact. That is what we call priority. Okay? Now this is very, very important because in human capital, one of the area of weakness is priority. They don't know what matters most. They want to do everything. Because they don't understand this English, what matters most. Okay? So you can imagine or not how we pay so much money for people, they go do small jobs, which somebody else can do. If you train someone, they can do. You can do something else. So that is how you must think. This is what we call strategy. That is what we call strategic plan. That is what is called KPIs. This is what we call projects. So that is how our thinking should be. So you find here in studies of managers, a rational manager start to assess the situation first. He sees the situation, he never react. He's cool and calm. He don't react. Asking why, he asks what. Okay? That's the difference between a strategic manager and an operation manager. An operation manager see a problem, he got scared, got excited, he asks why. A strategic manager, he sees a situation, he cool and calm, he try to clarify. He asks a lot of questions, okay, to clarify the situation, and then he set priorities. Now, let me ask you, when you face a situation, what are the questions we normally ask? When you are faced with a difficult situation, what are the questions you ask? Or you don't ask questions? in your experience, what do you do? When you face a situation, like for example, supply and demand not meeting what the required needs, what would you do? How would a manager would ask questions to understand clarity?
Set a meeting with them
Okay,
and then ask them what's happening.
okay, that's good. First question is what's going on or what is happening. That's good. So what is going on or what is happening? What is the next question?
Why?
Oh, you're straight away jumping here. Do you need to establish clarity, ma? You need to establish clarity. So, what's going on? What's the problem you are trying to solve? What is happening? What's going on? Okay. Who is affected? Who is affected? Because a problem is related to a customer. So, who is affected? Number 3, what is not working well? What is the process or what is the system or what is the mechanism not working well? So what? Okay. Number 4, what is the context? Is there any external threats? So looking into context. Okay. Now another question, what is the implication? We have a problem, but what is the implication? What is the meaning of the word implication? Implication means what? The impact, the consequences of not doing it. The impact, the consequences. And the last question is, what is the most important issue? Now we call this the 6W. This one you must know. Whatever you forget, you can forget the whole program. But this is a fundamental thing a strategic thinker should know. The 6W questions. So I hope you can remember and I hope you can practice. So if you can forget anything, you can forget all. But please remember this 6W. This is a very significant question in terms of data gathering. Okay? So only with this data we can challenge assumptions. Are they assumptions or facts? Are they opinions? So you got to challenge them. So what is the problem you are trying to solve? What is happening? Who is affected? What's not working well in the current situation? Okay, what is not working well in the current situation? What is the context? So context means threats. What is the implication? And what is the most important issue? So if you can ask this 6 questions, obviously you cannot find immediate answers. You cannot answer all these questions. You need to get a team of people to answer this question, because you as a manager, you might not have all the information. Your downline will have the information. So that is why you need to ask this question first yourself before you have a meeting. For most of them having meetings without even asking this question. So remember this, most of you call for a meeting without really knowing what is happening. You yourself not sure, you simply call for a meeting. Simply call for a meeting because you yourself not very sure. So my point of view is, before you call for a meeting, you tanyalah ini 6 question. Memang tidak ada jawapannya. It's okay, but at least you ask question. Then when you go for the meeting, maybe you got information, maybe you don't have this, you clarify with them. Then you question them. This is a good approach. These 6W questions. So this is what SA is, situational appraisal. Now, once you have done an assessment, once you have done and gathered this information will lead you to what you call PA. Why did it happen? Now, when you ask this question, why did it happen? What it tells us, really, what it tells us when you ask this powerful question. This is one of the most powerful questions we all trained to ask. What is it telling us when you ask why? Have you ever asked this question before? Yes. What is leading you to where? Yeah. It leads you to know the root cause. Yeah, it leads you to know the possible cause and lead you to know the root cause. So you are finding the unknown cause. Okay. The problem in this one here is, the danger of this is, when you see possible cause, many managers don't do hypothesis. They just assume it's a possible cause. They make assumption and offer solution and build strategy. That is wrong. When you come to this situation, you must make sure you have enough evidence to show that is the root cause. You need to do experiment. You need to verify. You need to validate. How many of you do all these things? We don't. Because we brainstorming. Berapa orang undi? Kita undi. 5 orang. 2 orang tak ada undi kan? Ini 5 orang jadilah root cause. Because this is how you are trained. That is not. Because this is the hardest part in problem solving. Because many managers, they don't validate with information. It is not hypothesis driven. How many of you here are engineers? You should know what? All of you should know. An engineer, basic discipline of engineer is, when he comes down to a root cause, he must give a good explanation with data. Data kalau dia tak boleh panggil engineer. Because he based on assumption. So this is very important. So they studied 168 CEOs of worldwide companies, about 3 to 6 month studies. In the studies, they found out many businesses fail because they don't do valid evidence-based diagnosis. Straight away jadi strategy, straight away jadi strategic plan. Tak boleh mah, you cannot skip this board. Okay, so please remember, we must find root cause by data validation, data experiment. That is called problem analysis. Now, when you finish your problem analysis, you got your root cause. Obviously, you need to make a solution, right? You need to make a solution. We call that making choices. You got many choices. You select a choice. For example, we were talking about what do you call the water source. Okay, we are talking about making a choice between jabatan air dengan own air. So there are two choices. So you have to make a choice. How did you arrive at that choice? How did your boss say kita ada sendiri punya air, kita tak mahu agensi punya air? So people ask, what is the rationale there? You must state your rationale. What are your requirements? This is the difference. You cannot say because you tak boleh kasih saya air, saya sendiri pakai air. What is your rationale? So this is what rational thinking is. So you have to set your requirements, state your requirements, and then only say, because all these requirement agency tak boleh fulfill. As a result, we make this choice. So what we learn from here is, when you propose solution to management, you must generate options. Option A, option B, option C. Kemudian you kena assess and narrow down the option. That is your job. That is a manager's job. Remember, when you propose solution to an organization for a problem, you must generate options. And in the options, you need to define each of the options, why you need to consider this option. What is your strength? What is your weakness? And then you need to consider risk. Each option got risk. You need to provide the risk. Just like the fish in the pond. You want to jump, but there are certain risks. So that is one of the learning we learn here when you come to decision analysis. Now most of the time people stop there. But what this model says, don't stop there. You must move from critical thinking to strategic thinking. PPA is called strategic thinking. When you stop here, this is called critical thinking. When you move here, is called strategic thinking. What is the difference between the two? What is the difference between critical thinking and strategic thinking? What is the difference? Is there any difference? What is the difference? Apa bezanya critical thinking dengan strategic thinking?
Short.
Present.
Present. Short. Short.
Yeah? Correct. Good. Very good. Critical is based on facts.
Strategy is action.
Action is a anticipation of thinking ahead with many possibilities. Many possibilities. So that is likely causes and thinking, anticipating of what could be only, what might be. Okay. Whereas until here it is fact based. Okay. Here you have some form of information but not yet happened. Itu dia panggilnya potential problem analysis. It's just like buying insurance for your building. Why people buy insurance for a building? Why people buy insurance for a building?
Potential fire.
Why? Because you got a lot of money, 300 million, you want to buy. Why you buy? You see, there's a potential problem of naughty boys and then get fire, right? If the fire happens, if you buy a policy, at least minimize your problem. Okay, minimize your problem. The insurance can give you some money. That is what you call as potential problem, and you see a likely cost, and then you take action against that. That's why you buy insurance policy. Okay? Now, fire brigade. How does the fire? The fire extinguisher. How does the fire extinguisher help the building? Why buildings have fire extinguisher? Preventive?
Measure.
How can fire extinguisher become preventive measure? You want to give a try? Why you need fire extinguisher in a building? Yeah, mitigation. In case now fire means immediately cannot call the fire brigade, right? You minimize it, mitigation. So in any kind of solution that you offer, you got to see anything can go wrong or not. That is called strategic thinking. Thinking ahead before you execute the solution. So you are seeing any elements of mistakes you can make. Anything can go wrong. That is the factor of this. Okay. Clear now? This is the pattern of thinking. It's a very powerful framework. Hopefully you can practice it, but it takes a while to do it. It's not difficult. The difficult one is this one. Trying to spend a lot of time, and whether you want to do the problem 30 minutes or you want to take it 3 hours. So that's called deep learning. Okay. Okay, let's go through your workshop that you did. Can we share some experience there? Maybe we can take from you. You have done something? Yeah. Maybe you can just pull the